Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your Uncle Oski here. Let's go for another walk. So I am currently sitting here today, sipping a cup of coffee. Excuse me one moment. Uh, Sipping on my coffee after yet another fruitless night of trying to get some sleep. Uh, as you can tell from the title, uh, I'm going through another spell of insomnia. I've been struggling probably I'm 31 now. I've been struggling with insomnia probably since around the time I was 12 years old. So probably for the last like 20 years almost, pretty much. Uh, you know, it's super hard to explain to anyone who has never gone through insomnia what exactly it feels like, especially over a prolonged period of time. Uh, like for me it goes like this, right? Every couple months I will go through probably like a 1.5 to 2 month spell where I'm just fucked with insomnia to the point of like just pure exhaustion. And while I have certain ways that I try to mitigate it. I it mitigating it all the way is completely impossible, and it's so hard to describe to people who haven't gone through it. Like my mom, my dad, and my sister, dude. They're like fucking SpongeBob, dude. They get into bed, they close their eyes, they're zonked, they're gone, they're done, right? But people like me, my mother, and my best friend, like all three of us, kind of have this connection of like, yeah, we all have problems sleeping, so we all can kind of understand each other to a certain extent. But um, I, I I hate whenever I'm like complaining about it and I'm talking to like my dad or my sister, they're always just like, "Well, just sleep more." I'm like, "No shit." Of course, like if I could, I would. I'm trying to, but it's not really something I can just help. Like that, oh my god, dude. Beyond like just the tiredness, it's hard to explain the pure despair as you're sitting there. You're getting into bed. You're super tired, right? Because you haven't been sleeping at all. But even when it like just starts, like it's so difficult to explain to people what it feels like after the first half hour passes of you sitting there tossing and turning into the first hour, into the second hour, like the pure just sheer despair as you're laying there knowing that you're not going to go to sleep anytime soon. And then just that the helplessness you feel because you're just like, good god, like I just want to go to sleep, and I just cannot force my body or my mind, or sometimes both, to just go to sleep. Like it really is just like super heartbreaking. And that might sound dramatic to people who haven't gone through it, but trust me, like it is just a wicked sense of just helplessness, despair, exhaustion. Like it's enough to break anybody, man. It really is super fucked, right? But like I haven't been able to find a way to completely mitigate it, but I have found things at least at least help me somewhat in mitigating it, right? Now, none of this helps over a 2 month stretch. Like when I get into the spells, like I'm probably sleeping 5 to 6 hours, sometimes even less. Like last night, I slept 4.5 hours. I'm recording this off 4.5 hours of sleep, and then I'm gonna export this, edit it, and Clipchamp and all that bullshit. But it is what it is. It's what I do. But anyway, it's so like the few things that I found, right, that do tend to help a little bit, right? Because some of these things you can't really do every day, and you'll see what I mean as I get into it, right? First things first, uh, getting off my phone, getting off my phone before I go to sleep, and or putting it on grayscale. There's something about I don't know if it's like the blue light that really fucks you over from I don't know whether it's a computer, a TV screen, your phone screen, but I found that like if I'm gonna be on my phone, uh, which I usually am on my phone right before I go to sleep because I like watching YouTube like a dumbass, right? Before going to sleep, like, or if I'm reading something, researching, studying, whatever, right? I found that putting it on grayscale, that tends to help out a little bit. It definitely helps my eyes not be as stimulated, therefore making making it easier for them to get heavy and go to sleep. Like I said, this doesn't completely mitigate the insomnia at all, but I don't know. I just found it's an easy way to get my eyes to get heavy right before bed. So that's one thing you could try, and one thing that I found, and that anyone potentially listening to this could try to help out with that issue. Another thing that I found that really, and I mean like really helps the insomnia, like this right here could be the difference between a 4 to 5 hour night of sleep versus a 6 to 7 hours of sleep right here. Like this is the biggest thing that helps me fall asleep, and it's so hard to do because of how just exhausted I am from not sleeping most of the time. But it really is like just exercise and working out. Like when I bust my ass at the gym, and I do, I don't have a split. I do full body workouts every time I go to the gym, and I go 3 to 4 times a week because I'm trying to not be a fat ass anymore, right? But obviously that's gone up and down over the years, but I have found when I'm consistently working out, those nights after the gym, I am beat to shit and I can fall asleep easier. Even during my insomnia spells, as hard as it is to do the workout because I'm so exhausted, dude, I'll get 6 to 7 hours of sleep easily because your body is just crying for rest because you are just so tired from not sleeping, and the workout just pushes you over the edge. Like one of the biggest things I struggled when it came to insomnia for a long time was restless leg. And mind you, this was the time that this was during a time where I was not physically active, like really at all. Like I was going to work, I had a semi-physical job, right? But I wasn't doing any exercise. I was eating sugar too late. I was way over my calories. Like I was in a crazy calorie surplus, right? And all those calories, they're just energy, man, and they would just keep me up at night. And I didn't realize it back then until I started to lose the weight, until I started working out more. Like it really is crazy, man. Like if and I've tried to explain this to my best friend all the time, right? My best friend is very sedentary. He works remotely. He's always playing games and stuff like that. Which, and the times everyone deserves to relax the way they want, right? But I tried explaining it to him. I was like, dude, you eat so much and you don't move like almost at all. Like I doubt he's getting 5K steps a day, if that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what do you think all that extra energy is doing? Like it's just building up upon itself. It's making you fatter. And he's like, yeah, for some reason, like my body gets so restless when I'm going to sleep. I'm like, because you have all this energy that you just didn't do anything with, man. Like he really could help himself a lot by working out. And it's something that I found that like really, really, really does help me. Like, dude, even during the insomnia spells, there's some nights where I go so fucking hard at the gym, man, that I pass out for like 9 hours. And like that's amazing. Like I could barely get 9 hours of sleep, like even when I'm not in an insomnia spell. Like my Goldilocks zone is around 8 hours. Like at most, that's what I'll get. But like I said, even during insomnia spells, some of these workouts kill me so hard that I'm getting like 9 hours of sleep, some of the best sleep of my life. So, look, definitely something I would recommend. I mean, you should be working out anyway, It doesn't even have to be the gym. You could go on an hour-long walk, do some running, go biking, swimming, do whatever you do. But working out definitely helps insomnia for me. It helps my body shut down, and my mind is begging me to sleep. So it does take out one of the two things that could potentially keep you up, which is your body. So highly recommend that. And of course, last but not least, last advice I would give anyone suffering from insomnia is this can be a little scary for some people, and I get it because it scares me too, and that is take something. Now, what do I mean by take something, right? Well, I mean a multitude of things, right? So, one, there are herbal teas that can help tire you out a little more. I know chamomile does this for me. Like, chamomile chills me out. It makes it easier for me to just kind of doze off. Now, it's not 100% hit rate. Grant, like, when I'm first, like, when the insomnia spell is starting for me, like, the first couple days, the chamomile will get me to be able to fall asleep so I can get, like, around 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep, especially combined with the workout. But it's not a guaranteed hit, right? And then medicine is super scary. I understand that, right? Like, in my younger days when I was in therapy, like, I got, I was given pills for, depression, anger, all that stuff, right? I noticed, I forget which one of the two it was, but one of the medicines actually helped me sleep, and I got semi-addicted to it when I was 15, to the point where I kept the therapy going just so I could get the pills. And I had to kind of, luckily it wasn't to the point where, like, I was super obsessive with it. It just, I ended up taking it longer than I needed to. So I understand how scary it can be, right? And one of the things that helped me, and it's meant for this, right? But it gets to a point where it's a slippery slope, and that's like stuff like ZQL, like melatonin gummies. Like, I got to a point where, God, I was taking ZQL like 5 out of the 7 days just to be able to get more than 5 hours of sleep. And that was in, like, sheer desperation, and any medicine you take has side effects, right? And I was starting to notice the side effects of taking too much ZQL on my body, and I had to stop. And it's such a shame too, because, like, our perception of things is the feedback that we get from things, right? So as soon as I stopped taking the ZQL when I was, like, using it super heavy, was that I obviously wasn't getting as much sleep because I wasn't getting put to sleep as fast or as hard as when I was on the ZQL. And it got to the point where I was sitting there like, well, I need the ZQL. And that, luckily, I caught myself in that moment, because as soon as I recognized that I had internalized my need for it, I was like, I can't do this, right? And thankfully, like, I've learned to have a mature relationship with ZQL. Like, if there's a day, let's say I have something really important I need to do the next day, like, I'll take ZQL, but I just take it for that one night, because it's a slippery slope. Like, I have an addictive personality, and I'm like that with everything, right? Like, I'm like that with nicotine, with marijuana, stuff like that, right? Like, it just is what it is. When I'm addicted to a video game, I'm addicted until there's literally no more dopamine it can give me. You know what I mean? Like, it's super scary. And what's even scarier for me is the only step that I have not taken is, and this is very hypocritical of me to say, given how much I've been preaching this episode, or this video, but going to the doctor and getting actual medicine. The experience that I had as a teenager really scared me from taking medication for my sleep. And combine that with the ZQL overusage, like, I have this crippling fear that whatever medicine they would give me, I would get super addicted to. And I understand, given what I just said and everything I've said in this video, it's super hypocritical of me to say, go to the doctor, because all the home remedies I can shoot off, like, drink some teas, Grayscale, read a book before you go to sleep. Don't be on your phone, just read a book. Work out more so you can do all this, blah, 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 blah. If none of this works for you, like, go to your doctor. Like, and like I said, I know it's super hypocritical because I'm saying I won't go to my doctor because I'm afraid. But really, like, when it comes down to it, insomnia is a health issue, whether it's physical, mental, or just both. Like, it's a health issue, and if you're dealing with insomnia, you already know this. But if you're not dealing with insomnia, you might not know this. The lack of sleep gets to you. It fucks with your mental clarity. It fucks with your energy levels. It just fucks with your regularity so much to the point where, like, I don't even feel like me most of the time during these insomnia spells. Like, I don't even know who I am. Like, my personality shifts. I'm irritable all the time. I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. It just makes you into a completely different... It doesn't make you the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it just really does fuck you up. And, like, that... It gets to a point where you're just like, dude, you need to go to the doctor. And like I said, I'm a fucking hypocrite. You can call me a hypocrite in the comments. That's fine. But trust me, man. My fear aside, going to the doctor is the best remedy for this. And it's my cross to bear as well as yours if you're suffering with this and you're afraid like I am that as much fear as you have to make the compromise that, like, dude, I need to do something about my health, about my mental health. I need to get over this fear because I cannot live like this. Luckily for me, the only reason I don't get pushed into going to a doctor for this is the fact that it's sporadic, you know? Like, in a given year, I'll probably have, like, I don't know, 4 spells a year. And while it sucks, like, and at most it can be half of the year where I'm dealing with really bad insomnia, if you're someone who deals with this all the time, go to your doctor. You know, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Don't be afraid. Go to the doctor. Get yourself some help. That's really all I got for you guys today. I'm super tired. I'm, at this point, probably been rambling on, not making any coherent sense. So I'm going to finish my cup of coffee, go do some stuff, and then probably have a nap. Or I'll try to take a nap. We all know how that's probably going to go. But thank you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on our next vlog. Thank you. Bye.